Hi, this is Bill Spatrino. Today, this is the weekend of February 8th. I'm going to um, discuss the Truth Machine. I'm sorry we had a delay last week. We're going to try to do this weekly now, especially with the political season. If you haven't listened, I'm going to be on a webinar. Go on my Facebook page, or I'll have to get the link to you. You can email me at ticketbill@aol.com, and I'll give you the link if you're not registered. It should be on my Facebook and my LinkedIn pages. Bill Spatrino Jr. on Facebook, LinkedIn, Bill Spatrino. I'm going to be doing a webinar. Dick Morris, Chris Ruddy, the CEO of Newsmax, and myself are going to be talking politics. Even though out of those three, I have the most knowledge in politics. Sorry, Chris. Sorry, Dick. I was right about Trump last time, and they talk about me. It's very good, and it'll be on Newsmax. Will be doing it. There'll be a link to it. I'm going to talk about the fiasco that's become the Democratic Party. Contrary to popular belief, I know quite a few Democrats, although not as many as I used to. A lot of them have cut me out. But in the past, we would debate gun control. We would debate abortion. We would debate, borders and things. We would be debating late-term abortions, and I would explain to people, well, if you don't want the child, adopt. This, and we would have, but we were civil. Okay, if you disagreed with somebody, you didn't, stop talking to them. You didn't. Even in Congress, the Democrats and the Republicans, Ted Kennedy and Tip O'Neill would be sitting down with, the Republican counterparts, and then they go out and have a few drinks. It was, you can have different opinions. This is America. I don't, all I do is when someone says, oh, the State of the Union contained lies, I want their list of lies. And then we can sit there and address them. We need a debate. One of my friends, put it out on her page that about, did the State of the Union make you cry? She didn't even make a decision. And I mean, some ungrateful person, supposedly one of her friends, called her office and tried to say that she favors Trump. But what she doesn't understand is most of the people in the office and the big boss favors Trump. So you weren't aggravating people. But look, the far right tried to get me thrown off of out of my job because I made a couple comments, and it involved Romney, which we'll talk about him later. But they tried to say I called Newt Gingrich Captain Kangaroo, basically, and I just said, look, when you play on a team, okay, as much as I didn't like Romney, when you play on a team, if someone beats you out for first string, then you root for them, okay? And I'm going to admit something weird, that I was wrong. I said, well, Romney would do the same if the roles were reversed. Well, I'm finding out that Mittens is one of the most dishonest. I just thought he was a wimp. And actually, I thought he was tone deaf. Like, did you ever watch the Gilligan's Island when they hand Thurston Howell a shovel and he's like, "Ye God, lovey"? Like, he tried to wear jeans, and you could tell the guy never wore jeans before. Okay, he tries to be someone else, and what he really is a bitter scum. See, what it all comes down to is Pelosi and Mittens are two cheeks of the same ass. They can't stand that Trump is a success in their failures. Okay, they can't digest it. Okay, they both have money, but they're not liked people. Okay, like Mittens won in Utah because he bought the primary. I don't even think he'll get reelected. If anybody good ran against him, like if a guy like Burgess Owens, if you're listening, or any conservative runs against Mittens, he won't win re-election, and I hope he doesn't. But in Iowa, people want to know. It's funny. I asked one of my friends who's an operative. I said, was this a cover-up to cover Biden's fourth place finish? Was it just the ineptness of the Democratic Party, or were they trying to screw Bernie? And he just wrote me back. He said, all of the above. Okay, these guys are so inept. Here it is. I'm doing this on a Thursday night. They still don't know who won. Okay, it's like going to a football game, watching the Super Bowl, and in 3 days they don't even tell you who won. Okay, I mean the Democratic Party, and that's part of the reason the stock market's up. People realize that Trump, whether you like him or dislike him, he's not incompetent. Okay, you're seeing that the Democratic Party is incompetent. Remember with the Wolin drink in New York when the city couldn't get it right? Trump came in and got it right. Okay, if you haven't seen that, look it up. Okay, I mean, this Iowa, it was. I mean, what really happened is Biden did poorly, and they didn't want to say it. And I think honestly, they were trying to mess with Bernie and cheat him out of the delegates. Okay, see, they don't mind if Mayor Pete gets up there. They think that's going to neutralize Bernie. Folks, I'm telling you something right now, and I've said it once, and I'll say it again. Bernie Sanders is going to become the nominee of this party, okay? He's going to win it legitimately. Mini Mike Bloomberg, fake Mike, he's not going to win, okay? They're just, look, folks, I'm just telling you something right now. The people are not, Mayor Pete is not going to get the black vote, okay? African Americans as a group do not like gay people. They don't like them, okay? They don't have, I'm not telling you what's right or wrong. I'm telling you that the guy has 0% in South Carolina. And until he improves that, he has no chance to win the nomination with that. I mean, Nate Silver, who, whether you like him or don't like him, I personally don't care for him. I don't dislike him. I just think he's inept. But he does think now, Biden was 43% chance to get the nomination. Because of how poorly he performed in Iowa, he's like 20-some percent. Bernie's like 36%. And there's like 25% that nobody's going to get the people. But I'm just telling you, once the fake Indian leaves, and I mean, look, they're going to give the fake Indian money to keep her in. But if she throws in with Bernie at all to become the vice president, she's so greedy. If I was Bernie, I wouldn't put her on the ticket with her because she may give Bernie a special food that'll knock him out, okay? Or make sure he gets a heart attack. Maybe she'll get him a hooker or something. I mean, look, I'm just telling you guys, the party itself, this, it was a joke, okay? Their primary was a big joke, okay? And we're getting up to New Hampshire. I just don't think that people want Biden. Somebody told me, they said, Bill, I'm starting to get the same feelings about Biden that I had about Jeb. I'm starting to see it too, but see, Bob Casey was on the TV. He's the senator from Pennsylvania, and he said, Joe Biden is the only one of these candidates that can win Pennsylvania, and he said Democratic Party needs Pennsylvania to win the election. And folks, they do. That is the key, okay? See, this is what I'm telling you. As much as Bob Casey and I disagree politically, the guy understands politics, okay? And he was dead right, okay? He's dead right. Biden is the only person who could still win Pennsylvania, okay? Mayor Pete's not going to win it, okay? If you're for fracking, okay, like Sanders and Warren, you aren't winning. Bloomberg, I guess, would have a chance to win it because it's kind of, the proximity to New York is good. But I just couldn't see a guy going into the coal mining towns. And see, the other problem that Bloomberg has is, besides the fact that he's Jewish, and like I've said before, Jewish people, Italian people, never been president. I don't think they ever will. Catholic people, we had one and he got shot. Okay, I'm just reminding you the numbers. I'm a numbers person. I come at things and analyze them strictly. I live in Ohio, and Ohio is the state that elects people. You can see if somebody's going to win Ohio, like the Republican Party can't lose Ohio and then win Pennsylvania. It doesn't work. Pennsylvania is a much more, you have the whole northern, like the Philadelphia part of it, where there's a ton of people. And if you're going to win, you have to win in the small towns. And you need, for the Democrats to win. Trump won last time because, and he's going to get more African Americans this time. Trump's not going to be outspent 5-1, and he's going to get a lot more evangelicals. The evangelicals didn't believe him. If you're going to win in Pennsylvania and you're a Democrat, you've got to be a working class guy like a Biden who grew up in Scranton. There's still people that'll support him. I just don't think the AOCs of the world will play well in Pennsylvania. I just don't think it, okay? And the Democratic Party, it's like the Republican Party has to win Texas, or they have to win Florida. You can't be the president and not win Florida, okay, if you're the Republican. Actually, he could have probably pulled it off. But see, if you're not going to win Florida, you're not going to win North Carolina. You're not going to win Michigan because Florida is a much more centrist state, okay? Pennsylvania is their firewall. If they lose Pennsylvania, trust me, if Trump wins Pennsylvania, he could very easily win Minnesota, New Hampshire, Colorado, New Mexico, Nevada, okay? They have to try to get someone who's centrist. Look, folks, Bernie has the kids. I talked to my daughter and her boyfriend, and my producer, Michael Stifler. They know that all the young people are for Bernie. Okay, and if you're for Trump, they'll go after you. Okay, it's, you know, this State of the Union was by far the best speech Trump ever had. The best. Okay, by far, it was his best speech. Okay. And what he did is he put things out there, like he put record levels of African American unemployment. They didn't applaud. Okay. He put the Tuskegee Airman, who's from Cleveland, Ohio. Okay. 100-year-old man. They didn't stand for him. He put Tony in Cincinnati, former veteran, got a job, African American. They didn't stand for him. Fourth grader gets the award. She gets a scholarship. They don't stand for her. Okay. That's how sick these people are. And see, trust me, folks, everybody's watching. The independents are watching. 82% of the independents and 30% of the Democrats approved of his speech the other night. Okay. That's powerful. And like 90-some% of the Republicans. I think Mitt Romney and his friends were the other 4%. Okay. A bunch of tone deaf, clowns. This guy put them in a position when, as far as her ripping the things up, look, folks, when people lose games, they pout, okay? She showed her lack of control. Afterwards, she was so frustrated, and she tried to get, the song Big Shot from Billy Joel? She just wants to be a big shot. They're trying to maneuver Trump. Trump has been in the public eye for 45 years. He's a wealthy guy, okay? It's not that he's broke or anything. He's the guy, he has money, okay? He understands the media better than anybody. He's like a karate expert. The more you throw at him, the faster it comes back at you, okay? Did you ever try to play tennis against a wall? It's this, if you hit it really hard, it comes back at you so much faster you can't return it. That's what's happening to these people. And then he had his press conference today, the day after the impeachment. And I mean, it's like he arranged it. He thanked all his people. And he basically made fun of Comey, made fun of Pelosi. I mean, he made fools of these people. I should say bigger fools. And then he slapped mittens around too. Okay. What's going to happen in New Hampshire? I think Bernie wins New Hampshire. The question is, will the two people who really in New Hampshire have to get themselves focused? I mean, Amy Klobuchar's out, even though she would be a dangerous candidate because I think she would do well in the Midwest. But she's playing for vice president right now, okay? If Bernie brought her in, but see, Bernie's people, they want somebody far to the left, okay? They don't want her. But I mean, her and Mayor Pete put all their eggs into Iowa. Mayor Pete did all right in Iowa, but again, I don't see him. New Hampshire's a big state for him. Hopefully he could get some momentum, and I say hopefully for him. I I would prefer not to run against Mayor Pete. I don't think he's going to do great. And like I said, I don't think the African Americans would come out for him in large. The males, the females might, okay? But, and I'm sorry to say this, but the African American female is the most uninformed voter, okay? I know people say I shouldn't do that. I mean, only 4% went for Trump, okay? That's crazy. The African American male did much better, okay? They're at, I think they were 12% for Trump or 13%. Yeah, I can understand that, okay? What I don't understand is Trump has taken 600,000 people that were on welfare and took them off. And he's taken over 1 million kids. He's taken 7 million people off food stamps. Okay, some of the African American colleges were going down, and he came in and rescued them. He came in and put the first African American female 4-star general. He was the one that appointed them. Okay, so the racism card, African Americans are doing much better. Record unemployment. Hispanics, record unemployment. Asians, record unemployment. Females, 70-year low on unemployment. Disabled people, people without educations. I mean, the gap between the top 10, bottom 10%, the bottom 10% have gained more percentage-wise, 3 times more than the top 10%. Not in dollar amounts. My people still have done better than the people on the lower end. Okay? But you just got to understand what's going on around you. Okay? This is a culture war. Okay? And we have to keep mentioning things to people and keep standing up. I told that friend of mine, look, don't take this post down. It was on social media. I said, don't take it down. You're going to lose more people than you're going to gain. And someone said to me, man, you're rich. You're allowed to do whatever you want. I said, no, you got it backwards. I became rich because I speak my mind. People that know me know that when I say something, I mean it. My investors know it. My friends know it. Okay? When I was the first major media to predict Trump, my boss, Chris Ruddy, thought I was out of my mind. Everybody at the company thought I was out of my mind. But see, I understand winners. My whole life is about picking winners. Okay? I've done it my whole life, and Trump is a winner, and I was at Trump International, and I really enjoyed myself. I want to say thank you to the Donald. He has run a great place, and my hospitality. Speaking of winners, you want a winning stock, pick the stock Altria. They're trying to knock it down by saying that vaping is going to be illegal. Folks, the stock dropped last week about 6% because there's this fear that there's triple the amount of lawsuits against Juul than there was. Folks, first of all, Juul's done absolutamente nada wrong. Nothing. Okay, people die of the flu. You know how many people died of the flu last year? Like 60,000. You know how many people died of vaping? Like 20. And you know what happened to them? They were vaping THC. I don't care what they said. They weren't. Juul's products have not changed since 2010. There were no deaths. Now all of a sudden you think that Juul's the problem? Folks, this was a shakedown to get rid of the Juul CEO. And Altria wants to take over the company, and they kind of have. Okay, buy the stock, collect the dividend, and relax. It's not going to triple. It's not going to do what Snapchat did. Okay, the market was down on this fears of this virus, folks. China, the only place this virus is in China, and China's going to do things to help their economy. Okay, just continue to stay the course. The Super Bowl, I had the wrong prediction in this game. When I'm wrong, I say it. Kansas City. But you know what? I didn't like some of the San Francisco players. They weren't going to the Super Bowl. They weren't going to the White House. Andy Reid said it would be an honor. Clark Hunt, the guy that took the trophy, first thing he mentions, God. Mahomes mentions God, and he's a good kid, works for humanity, Habitat to Humanity. Praise. I mean, these are the kind of people. It was so nice to see him win a Super Bowl and not that fool, Kaepernick. There's such a difference in people. Okay, and a lot of people think, oh, you don't like Kaepernick because he's African American. No, that has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it. He's a jerk. That's why I don't like the guy. Obama was half white, half black. It doesn't matter. I didn't like the guy. I didn't because he wasn't for the things I was for. Okay? I'm for the Second Amendment. I'm for religion. I don't care what religion you are. Romney tried to hide behind his religion. A lot of my friends are Mormons. Mitt Romney is a poor example of a human being, let alone a Mormon. The fact that he's a Mormon has nothing to do with anything. Okay? He's trying to say he hid behind it. He's trying to say he believes in his faith. I know a lot of Mormons, they don't believe like Mitt Romney. Okay? I can tell you that right now. But we, the people of America, love people that are for America. Whether you're white, black, Asian, Indian, it doesn't matter. We love America. What I loved the other night about the State of the Union is I love the country. I love the one thing that Trump does that Obama didn't do. Trump unites people, whether you like it or not. But the difference is he fights for America. Other countries aren't paying us through NATO. He's like, hey, you got to pay us. He made trade deals with South Korea, Japan, but he makes them for the American people. If you're negotiating with bad guys, do you want a priest to go over there or do you want a killer? And that's what he does well. He loves doing these deals. He understands them. He hires the right people. See, what I love about this country is we're finally going back to taking pride in things. Tim Tebow wasn't allowed to kneel, but these other people kneel. They can kneel to protest things, but you can't pray. That's nonsense. And I like that Clark Hunt and Mahomes both mention God. I love it. And I don't care whatever thing that they decide to do. One of my friends, Cheryl, she thinks that people who go against Trump are like they're having bad luck. Like the one guy protested Trump. He lit up Trump about illegal immigrants and said he's overdoing it. Well, guess what? An illegal immigrant weeks later came across the road and killed him. Kobe Bryant, as much as I liked him, he threw shade at the president, and look what's happened to him. Mac Miller used to write a song, "Want to Be Like Trump," and then he started dissing Trump. He's dead now too. Okay, is there a thing called the Maloik out there? The Italians know that. Okay, all I'm trying to say to people here is this country is at a tipping point where we have a record stock market. We have the gap between the rich and the poor has never been as narrow in our lives. Okay, it's finally starting. Now it's still vast, but that's because it's like saying the people who work out and eat right are thinner than the people that don't. I mean, you have to practice literacy. You have to practice these things that I call it fiscal fitness that get you going. I've started so many people that have listened to this podcast, they finally started investing. I don't want to name their names. Okay? You have to get started. My producer, Michael, has started. He's almost at $1,000. He's a college kid. Okay? Started with $100, now he's almost to $1,000. Okay? And he's working hard to pay for his school. See, this is important, folks. Okay? You have to start sometime. Okay? And this country, we need jobs. We need a cheerleader who gets the country, who represents the country, not represents the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. Okay? Most politicians are phony. Sorry, in both parties. Okay? I want people, like I said, Bernie will have all the kids out, but I just don't think he's going to be able to. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think that the establishment Democrats know they're going to lose, and they're setting this thing up for Bernie so that he can get George McGovern and get killed, and they won't put their people out. And then they'll say, look, we don't want to listen to the progressive wing anymore. The progressive wing of this party is ruining it. I'm just telling you guys that you can't have everything for free. But that's where all the energy is. See, there's no energy in the party. Okay, if he just doesn't exist. Okay, nobody wants Joe Biden. See, the problem with the Democratic Party is it's not for anything. All they say is hate Orange Man, hate this, hate that. There's no, where he's continuing the Obama economy. Folks, that's a joke. That's a joke. He cut taxes. Cutting taxes. You know why the deficit's higher? Because so many people are becoming 65 years old. We are going to have to deal with Social Security after the election. If you do it before, they'll say he's trying to cut Social Security. They'll show grandma going off the thing in a wheelchair. Okay? The three people that have won the Democratic elections since 1960 were all young, or four guys. Kennedy, Carter, Clinton, and Obama. And they all ran on fresh ideas. They were all younger guys that ran on fresh ideas. Okay? Carter was lucky. I mean, Kennedy's old man got him to bribe them. And, Chicago, Giancana brought Chicago, and Illinois came in last, even though they finished voting much sooner. It was like an Iowa thing that's going on now. Carter won because of Ford never being elected and because of impeachment and Watergate, and he barely won. Clinton won because of Perot and because Bush Sr. was inept. And Obama won because he ran against the worst candidate in God's earth, John McCain, and the second worst, Pansy Mittens. Okay. And you know what? These guys had fresh ideas. And you know what? Clinton didn't do a bad job. Carter, poor. I loved Kennedy's ideas with cutting the taxes. John Kennedy was a my politician, except the only problem is they shot him. But John Kennedy today he's further right than Lindsey Graham is. I can tell you that right now. And at least you knew with Kennedy, his thing was he liked girls. Lindsey, I think Lindsey is a girl. Sorry. So, folks, and they don't have anybody to run. Mayor Pete, could he do it? I just don't know. I don't think so. I think this is going to be Bernie's. I want to run against Bernie. I actually want to run against Elizabeth Warren, but we're not going to get that chance. We're not going to be that lucky. Bernie's at least has his base of fans, whether you like it or dislike it. So stay tuned. Next week we'll have another one. We'll talk about the New Hampshire primary and any other new things that come up. So from behind the wheel of the Truth Machine, this is Bill Spatrino asking you to sit back and enjoy the ride.